I took that group of teenagers outside of the projects and we walked towards downtown Columbus. And as we walked, we came to a graveyard and I stopped in front of the graveyard and I tapped all of them. I said, look out there in that graveyard and tell me, what do you see? And they responded. They said, oh, Brother Phillip, we see tombstones. And I said, good. What else do you see? We say, Brother Phillip, we see memorials. I said, good. What else do you see? He said, Brother Phillip, we see grass and trees and flowers. I said, good. What else do you see? We'll see, Brother Phillip, we don't see anything else. I said, are you sure? Look again. Tell me, what do you see? They said, Brother Phillip, we don't see anything else. And I will never forget getting those teenagers to focus for just a moment. And I said, look out there. Let me tell you what I see. I see unfulfilled potential. I see ministries that were never started. I see books that were never written. I see marriages that were never formed, children that were never born, visions that were never realized. I seen wasted potential out there in that graveyard. I seen anointings and giftings and callings that people carried with them to the grave. I told them, look out there in the graveyard, you see now the wealthiest place on earth. For out there in their graveyard, there are many people who carried with them to their grave things that God placed on the inside of them that was supposed to come out of them while they was in this life. And for whatever reason, whether excuses, hard times, challenges, ignorance, they carried with them to their grave the things that God had intended for them to do in this life. And I never forgot that moment. This is a tragedy of modern humanity, that there are people dying every day and going to the grave carrying inside of them things that they were supposed to do in this life. This is even a greater tragedy in Christianity, of people who talk about callings and talk about giftings and talk about anointings and have all this show of all these things we do, and yet there are Christians leaving this life every week and every day carrying to their grave things that the Master intended for them to do while they was here, intended for them to accomplish while they was here, intended for them to pour out while they was here. But for whatever reason, they made excuses. They were busybodies in church. Man, they died having gone to the grave with the figurative babies that was inside them they were supposed to give birth to. They aborted those babies for whatever reason, and now they got to give an account to the Messiah for that. Jesus again reminded his followers, and as I remind you, that you and I are stewards of everything that God has given to you. That the earth is the Lord and the fullness thereof. There is no one under the sound of my voice who is a owner of anything. But everything under your fingertips, you have been given to steward. And I want to say to you again, and next week I might say to you again, that the most important things you are stewarding, write them down. You are stewarding your time, your resources, your opportunities, your assignments, your relationships. These are the 5 most important things that you are stewarding. You are managing these things for the glory of God. I want you to notice he said his property and his servants, because you also are a stewardship, your personal life, because you belong to the Lord if you are saved. So we are only stewards, we are only managers, and your management is a test in this life for what you will enjoy in the life to come. Money is amoral, like $1, $20, let's go higher, $100. Money is amoral. It has no heart, has no eyes, it has no soul, has no thoughts, it has no will. But when it lands in the hands of a human being, it takes on a personality. With this $20, I could go buy groceries and give $5 to the poor and put $1 in the offering. Or with this $20, I could go get blow and snuff out for the rest of the week. The money has no will of its own. It only has a will when it lands in the hand of a person. Why? Because money reveals what's in the heart. If you want to know what's in people's heart, just give them resources. As soon as resources lands in a hand, it reveals what's in the heart. Where the heart is, so your treasure will be also. So money in and of itself is not evil. People are evil. And so if you want to know what's in people's hearts, just put money in their hands. As soon as resources land in a person's heart, we see what's in their hands. We see what's in their heart. So the first thing that you are stewarding are resources for the glory of God. No, I didn't beat you up for a tithe. I just told you to be a good steward of the resources God has given you. Why? Because he's watching how you handle it. This thing right here is not a God, although some of you worship it. And you bow down to it. And you exalt it like an idol in your heart. You hold it so high, you're afraid to part from it. You're afraid to share it. You're afraid to invest it into the kingdom. This is so temporary. It's going to be gone. You ain't going to be using this in the millennial kingdom. The Lord is just allowing you to manage a little bit of it just to see how good you can handle it. It's crazy to me that some of you will be praying to be a millionaire, but you can't steward a few $1,000s. You're praying for God to bless your business, but you can't steward a check. You're praying for God to increase your finances, but you can't steward what you have. I want you to notice the words "at once." They did not wait. They recognized that they were saved. They recognized that they were given gifts and talents. Immediately, they put their life on the altar. They went out to serve God. The man who had 5 multiplied. The man who had 2 multiplied. What does this look like in context? What multiplication looks like in context is you, watch, using the potential God has given you and maximizing that potential to do everything God has called you to do. So what this looked like in context, everybody look right, man. This is, if I've been saved for 5 years or 20 years, I should be a better husband today than I was when God saved me. I should be a better father today than when I was when God saved me. I should be a better steward today than I was when God saved me. I should be a better preacher today than I was when God saved me. If 20 years go by and you're still the same person, you are not multiplying your talents. If 20 years go by and you're not a good steward with money, you are not multiplying your talents. But if we would multiply our talents, my brothers and my sisters, that as time goes by, you will show fruit that you're being transformed in different areas. You're becoming a better husband. You're becoming a better wife. You're becoming a better friend. You're becoming a better person who stewards money. You should be growing, and that's how you multiply the things that God has given you. That is, man, you should be more obedient. You should be more faithful. The Lord should be able to look at you 20 years down the road and say, I don't have to fight you when I talk now. Now when I talk, you obey right away. When I first find you, you had to reason for 3 months before you carried out anything. But now when I talk to you, you move right away. You don't even need all the answers. You just trust my voice when I speak. Now, after a long time, master of those servants came and he settled accounts with them. This is a picture of the second coming of Christ. I want y'all to notice, not because Christ is delayed, that doesn't mean he's not coming. Christ is delayed, but Christ is also coming. When the master comes, look at the first thing that he does. He comes and immediately he settles everyone's accounts. That is, nobody is going to escape Christ. The atheist will not escape him. The Muslim will not escape him. The unbeliever will not escape him. The fake Christian will not escape him. When the Lord returns, and return he shall, he will settle everyone's accounts. If you did your homework, you would have read that books are going to be open. And in those books, he will look at what everybody has done in this life. And then according to those books, people will either be judged or people will be rewarded. You would have saw that in your homework, that when Christ comes, he's coming to give, watch, a time for everybody to stand before him. And then all of us are going to have to give an account for how we manage the things in our life. How did you steward your children? How did you steward your resources? How did you steward your time? How did you steward your opportunities? We will give an account for how we stewarded the things that he gave us in this life. Nobody escapes that account. This is powerful. This is me being able to stand before the Lord and say, Lord, you saved a brother from Queens. And look at all of the good that has come out of my life. I messed up a few times. I fell down a few times. I made a few mistakes, but look, there's souls in heaven because of my preaching. Look, my children made it because of my discipleship. Look, people love you because of my preaching. Look, they love the Bible. He wants to see a ROI on your salvation. He wants to know that when I saved you, I got something out of you on the day of judgment. What the Lord wants to see is that, what, your salvation was not a waste. And he does not have to regret that I saved you from sin. Man, I want to arrive in heaven with the Lord having no regrets. Like, man, that brother, man, he was difficult in the beginning, but man, he cleaned up really good after 20 years, man. Like, man, he really started listening. He really started praying. He was reading. He really started preaching from the Bible. Man, he was serious about study. Like, I want to be able to stand before him and say, Lord, look, you rescued me. This is what you gave me. I give you back more than what you gave me. I want to be able to do that with joy in my heart. And look at the commendation they get. This is the commendation we're living for. Well done, good and faithful servant. I know you got that on your t-shirt. And I just want to remind you, he didn't say that to people just because they were believers. Well done, my good and faithful servant is not an empty platitude. Well done, my good and faithful servant was attached to good stewardship. And there'll be a lot of believers who might die and arrive in heaven and never really hear that. You hear that at every funeral. We always say, man, well done, my good and faithful servant. How are we saying that about somebody in a box that hated Jesus and never went to church? The preacher is a liar. Well done, my good and faithful servant is for believers who were good stewards in this life. So if you want to hear those words from your Savior, you have to start taking serious the stewardship of everything that God has placed under your care. The Lord wants to be able to look at you when he calls you home and see that he got something out of your life. I gave you assignments and you carried them out. I whispered to your ear to be obedient in that area and you carried that out. I told you to be a better husband and you took that serious. I called you to be a better wife and you took that serious. I told you to be a better mother or father to these children and you took that serious. I told you to be faithful at your local church and you took that serious. I told you start giving some of your income to missions and to gospel ministries and you took, like, I want to get something out of your life. The Lord made an investment in you. He put his spirit in you. He wants something out of you. He does not want to look at you at the end and say, man, I made a mistake in saving this person. No, man, no. He wants to be able to say, this woman I saved, this man I saved. Look how much I got out of them. I got songs out of them and albums out of them and sermons out of them. I got a better husband out of them. I got a better father out of them. Look what I got out of this man. Look what I got out of this woman. Look at all that came out of them and nobody else saw in them what I saw. I saw something in them. I gave them my spirit. I gave them assignments. I pulled out of them. The Lord says in the end, he will strip every disingenuous servant, every fake Christian, everyone who arrives in glory with an excuse. He said he's going to strip people of what their assignments. He's going to give it to somebody else. Man, this is going to happen in the judgment. I like to think, man, this may even be happening right now. There may be people right now, you are living out somebody else's assignment. Maybe there was somebody else the Lord was trying to get to be obedient and they wouldn't be obedient, so he had to strip them of that assignment and give it to you. Maybe there was somebody else that was supposed to change your family. He stripped them of that assignment and he gave it to you. Maybe you are the man to change the trajectory of your family. Maybe you are the woman to change the trajectory of your family. Some of you may be living in assignments that some other person could not be faithful to, so he gave it to you. Your uncle could not do it, he gave it to you. Your father could not do it, he gave it to you. Your mother could not do it, he gave it to you. Man, people are going to be stripped of things they were supposed to do. It's going to be given to people else. And then those of us who are faithful are just going to have an abundance of God's blessing for our faithfulness. I'm back there before this gathering on the floor in the green room crying, saying, Lord, I'm a mess today. I'm all over the place. I'm heavy. I'm frustrated from all the things that happened this week. Lord, I feel like my proclamation is off today. And I'm saying, Lord, I need to do better. I'm conscious of the fact that I'm stewarding this. And when I suck, I want to say I want to do better. I don't want to just suck and walk off and then go get kava. No, I want to be kava's dope. I want to be green like kava. Like I want kava when I leave. Like kava's dope. But I'm back there crying like, Lord, I'm struggling today. I'm legit struggling. I want to go home. Lena's out of town. I'm daddy daycare. I want to just go be with my kids. It's better, like, come home, Lena. Like, I'm struggling today. I'm doing dishes last night. What are we going to eat for dinner? The boys, I'm struggling this week. And I'm back there at the 8 o'clock, like, Lord, I'm struggling in my preaching. I'm over time. I'm a mess. Help me to do better. I'm talking like that because I'm a steward. That's how stewards talk. They want to be better managers of the things that God has given them. Here is my cry for you. I want everybody in this room to die empty. Look at me. This is what I want as your pastor and as your friend and as your brother. I mean this with my whole heart. I'm praying that everybody under the sound of my voice, you die empty. You arrive in glory not carrying anything that God intended for you to pour out in this life. I want you to arrive before heaven and say, Lord, I wrote the book, I made the songs, I did the album, I started the ministry, I did the podcast, I became man, I'll be looking at Lena, this word to my mother, I'll be looking at her. I'll be looking in bed at night. I roll over and I'll be staring at her saying, Lord, I want to be a better husband to this woman. Man, she's put up with a lot. She's been through a lot. She's sacrificed a lot. I've heard her a lot. I'll be staring at her like, Lord, I want to be a better husband to these women. I'll be looking at my children like, man, I missed time with them when I was young and trying to build a ministry. I want to be a better father to them. I want to be available to them. Man, I cut my sermon prep short yesterday to hang out with them. And we went to Bar Taco and we went to Pond City Market and we was running the streets. I'm supposed to be in the house on Saturday. I never go out the house on Saturday, but I'm running the streets with them kids because I'm in there working on my message and I'm feeling broken. I said, man, I closed the computer So I'm going to spend some time with these kids. And I text Izzy, so I'm coming upstairs. I'll take y'all wherever y'all want to go. I do whatever y'all want to do. I said, Father, that's why I didn't call me Father. Father, she don't call me Dad no more. Father, we want to go to Bar Taco in the city. We want vibes. We want vibes. Father, I said, I'll be up at 3 o'clock. Be ready. And we in the streets on Saturday. But I'm supposed to be consecrating and being in the glory. No, I'm with them. I want to be, I missed time with them when they were young. I want to be this is me trying to give God a better return on his investment.